That's right. Who is it? The Joes. Smell it. The cooking. We're back. What's going on, Dave?
Hey man, what's going on? How we doing today?
Man, we getting there. It's a great day. The Joes are back. Man, missed the podcast here, man. Miss getting on the ones and the twos here with you and chopping it up and talking about a little fantasy football. Now I was on the website today, and they was talking about, I forgot what they was talking about exactly, but, I said it would be awesome if you could make a real living for your family talking fantasy football all day long. I mean, how great would that be just to
Oh
get up
my
in the
God.
morning, fantasy football year round, and you can provide your family one of, I said I hate the footballers, and I love them at the same time for having it so good. Now, hope we can get there one day. But what's going on, everybody? Thank you so much for coming back. Took a few weeks off, but as always, want to thank the listeners out there for coming back and supporting the show throughout the time that we've been here. And again, we do continue to expect to continue to be here for you guys, bringing you content. I will go ahead and apologize. We've been off for a little bit. That's been on me. And until we get to that footballer's level where I can feed the family talking fantasy football, I gotta work, folks. I gotta work. It's been crazy. It's been crazy at work these last couple of weeks. Man, I'm talking going in at 8:30, getting out at 7. I know some people do even longer hours than that. Commend you guys for that, but that's a long day for me, and we just kind of had to take some time off. And I didn't have enough time, really, Dave, and just everybody else out there, to really dive into the rookies the way I want to. We want to have some rookie shows, but that takes a lot of time and research. And I started getting into it and just didn't have the time. So we apologize for not being around, but we plan on being here a lot more often, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely. For sure, 100%. All right, so as always, you guys can leave comments here, ask any questions you have here on YouTube. Also hit us up on Instagram at the Average Joes underscore between each word, and on Facebook, the Average Joes Fantasy Football Podcast. Be on the lookout for the website coming up soon. Now things will calm down. I'm trying to get back on that. So me and Dave can get you our updated rankings for Dynasty, and I guess we'll probably do a redraft as well. But in general, we'll get our rankings out to you and some additional content as well. Anyhow, today we're going to do a quick show. Not going to be here long at all. Going to get straight into it. Going to do some free agent stuff, some winners and some losers, some general thoughts and ideas. So really looking forward to it, Dave.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad to, like you said earlier, I'm glad to be back, man. Every time something happened over the
oh man, you got so much to say.
A couple of days. Yeah, I was just like, I gotta tell somebody.
Yeah, someone needs to hear what I got to say. I got some good information. Absolutely, man. Well, man, how's things been with you though overall? We had some movement in the league the other day.
Wait, say that again. What happened?
I said we had some movement in the league the other day. Had to make some cuts, some adjustments. We had to make a late free agent. We gave a late free agent. We got a franchise up for sale if anybody is interested.
Yeah.
No, we got.
It's funny because we brought this individual up on the show a couple times.
Oh yeah.
Now we've had to move on.
Yeah, man. Sometimes you got to find a strike. You got to do what you got to do. And my man here, as a commissioner, stepped up, and man, it was just time. I probably would try to figure something else out for one more, give him one more shot. But sometimes you just gotta let it go. Yeah. But we're having a fun time in that league, man. It's just always something happening. But either here or there, let's go ahead and jump into it for the people, folks. We're going to go ahead and talk about some fantasy winners and losers for today. And Dave, let's start with the losers, man. I'll let you start it off. Who's your first loser? This could be a franchise, could be a person, whatever. Go ahead and knock it out.
Yeah, so my first loser is a player. It's going to be Tevin Coleman.
Okay.
Signing to the 49ers. It's heartbreaking, and I think the biggest thing that hurt him, and we talked about it on the show last year, was his final year with the Falcons.
Right.
Just didn't really get to show. I feel everything that everybody was expecting him to show, and I think that's what landed him in a backup role. Now, I didn't expect it to land him in a role where they've already got 4 or 5 solid running backs. And the worst news about that is Shanahan came out and said that he loves the running backs and would, don't be surprised if he has all 4 of them active on a given day.
Oh, God.
That's not something I want to hear as a Coleman owner.
Right. For his scheme, that may be great. Hey, I got, you never know what's coming from. But for fantasy, that's the kiss of death.
That's
a 4-headed running back group.
Yeah, like if you want to do that, great. Can I get a text, like a number or email or something, and you just let me know who you're feeling that day?
I'll be honest, man. I was certainly surprised by that move. I mean, I think you and I shot a couple of text messages back and forth where Coleman and Breida, I mean, are almost, in my opinion, kind of the same player. Maybe Coleman catches the ball a little bit better, and I've never been that high on Coleman. I like him as a fantasy flex, so don't get me wrong. He has value. I do like him as a player, but I've never seen him as a every down kind of a guy. I watch him run the ball, and I just don't see it. I don't see him being able to handle downs 1 through 3 the entire game. He is that prototypical, third down back, and he's probably a little bit better than some of the third down backs out there where he can handle some rushing as well, but he's not the guy that's going to grind out. He doesn't have that Frank Gore effect. He doesn't look like he's running really hard on first or second down and get that tough 3 yards. He's not going to do it. Now, if you give him a lane, the boy's fast. He can get through the lane.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but he's not going to get that tough 2 or 3 yards. So I don't know. But yeah, that was surprising. He's certainly a loser. Do you see him getting the majority of the touches in San Francisco? I mean, outside of what the coach is saying?
Nah, I can't. I mean, I think he will distance himself as the second back. I think we will still see, McKinnon.
Yeah.
I think that's the guy. And of course we'll see how off season goes and preseason and things of that nature. But I think we'll see a big workload from McKinnon, more than Coleman owners are going to want to see. But I think Coleman will be able to solidify his role as the pure backup, hopefully.
Yeah.
I think he can do that.
Yeah, I've heard the little joke that Shanahan was like, man, I really need someone for that Coleman role. You know what? Is Tevin Coleman available? He would be perfect for the Coleman role.
Right.
No, it does seem like he's trying to put together what he had in Atlanta. And you think about Jerick McKinnon, even though we haven't seen him do it on the field for a full season just yet, he fits that, gosh, I forgot his name off the top of my head here. The other running back, Freeman. He fits the Devonta Freeman mold, and he kind of strong, kind of short, stocky, maybe a little bit on the light side, but can seemingly handle that first and second down role and catch the ball. So it looks like he is trying to put together what he did in Atlanta. I do expect him to carve out that second role and still be viable in flex and maybe even grab a little bit more of that market share than he had when he was in Atlanta. But, yeah, it can't be exciting having those running backs right now. There have been some rumors possibly them trading either McKinnon or Breida to your team, to Philadelphia. I think it has to be Breida. I don't see him. Yeah. I've heard rumors about that. The closest linked rumor has been McKinnon, but I just don't understand having Freeman and Breida. They're the same player, and Breida showed he could run the ball, but I don't know. I guess we'll see. I mean, how do you feel about that as a Philly fan and the state of your backfield right now?
We need something. So, and I think, either one of those guys would be great. I think McKinnon fits us a little. I think he's more of our type of running back as far as, size, weight, receiving ability, speed, things of that nature. So, I can see us pushing for McKinnon. They
Yeah.
both, McKinnon and Breida are both I don't want to say injury prone, but have dealt with their fair share of injuries.
Yeah.
But I think we are a solid running back away from a very complete team. So as a fan, as a pure fan, I'm happy to have either one of them.
Yeah.
Looking at it, not from the fantasy glasses.
I got you. Absolutely. Let's go ahead and move on, man. Let me go with my first one here. I'm going to jump on him and see if I can snipe you out a little bit before you snipe me. I'm going with Jarvis Landry. And a lot of people have talked about him.
Gosh.
But in my opinion, he just got his fantasy value completely crushed. And I don't want to hear, I do not want to hear, OBJ is going to open up the middle of the field for Jarvis Landry. No, but OBJ at the very least commands a 20 to 25% market share of the passes. He has to have that amount of volume. There's not going to be enough to sustain Jarvis Landry. He's always been that short field, 9, 10, and heck, in Miami, it was 2 or 3 yards, kind of a pass play guy, and then he'll go get some yards after the catch kind of a thing. And I just don't see it happening for him. I don't know. I can't. Before Jarvis Landry, before OBJ got there, you probably looked at Jarvis Landry as a high-end 2, mid-tier 2, and now what? At best, wide receiver 3, maybe?
Yeah, and that's at very best. If you can buy it cheap, you definitely take that chance with the opportunity for what other people are saying. OBJ is going to open it up and all that good stuff. Sure, I'll spend a little something for the guy if that's a possibility.
Yeah,
but at the end
maybe
of the
a third
day,
rounder.
Right? Yeah. Something little. Like, I'm not coming as hard as I was before this news. Because at the end of the day, like you said it best. Before OBJ got there, I liked Jarvis a lot. He was coming on at the end of the year. It was like, okay, we're starting to see, this should improve next year. Maybe we'll get back to the 90 reception, 80 reception Jarvis Landry.
Yeah.
No, it's not. We're not going to get that now. Like you said, OBJ, you have to get him the ball. You don't have a choice. He's going to get open. He's super talented, and they have so many weapons.
Oh my gosh, they're like stacked.
OBJ. Yeah. You just everybody's got to touch it now, and it's going to be hard for Jarvis to get you the targets that you want. Now, sure, he's going to give you some good games. That's just what's going to happen. There's going to be games where he's going to catch maybe 4 balls, but have a huge catch and a touchdown or 2. So we're definitely not saying that he's going to fall off completely, but he's not going to give you what I think everybody was expecting him to give you coming into this year before OBJ got there.
Yeah, no, Jarvis has always been that high volume kind of a guy, and you were thinking maybe with Baker taking a step, further in his career in his second year full time, another year in the offense to understand it, that Jarvis could have been a really big asset for you. But I'm telling you, this jet just completely, in my eyes, crushed his value. I think when you look at Jarvis Landry's career, you have to put him on like the Bible timeline. B-O and A-O. Before Odell and after Odell. And that would be where you see the line cut between his fantasy success. But yeah, I can't see him getting any more than maybe 5 or 6, maybe 7 targets a game, which is not horrible, but for the kinds of passes he catches, and assuming he catches that at maybe a 50% clip, so he gets 3 receptions a game, 4 receptions a game, you're probably looking at 40 or 50 yards a game maximum, and you get lucky and get a touchdown maybe. But he's one of the biggest losers in my mind of the entire fantasy offseason.
Definitely. And the big thing for him, he's the biggest loser, and he didn't even go anywhere. He wasn't even a free agent. He's like, hey man, I had nothing to do with this. Why am I included in this?
You get it too. You should have stopped the trade. That's what you should have done.
Yeah. Hold on. I like Odell and all, but
but now he can't come here. It's me, Odell. Now he probably kicked you out, but hey. At least
Right,
he said something. Nah, he was like, "Oh, that's my boy from college. Yeah, we can relive the college days." Well, it ain't like college anymore, homie. Anyhow,
Right, yeah.
all right. Who's your second guy, man? Who's the second loser?
Yeah, but another loser for me is good old Adam Humphries.
Oh God.
For me,
Oh, you're hurting my heart.
I loved his role where he was, and you were a big
I
part of helping
hyped
get on
him
that
so hard, and when Deshaun Jackson left, I was like, "This is it. Adam Humphries is getting ready to be a wide receiver too. I'm all over it. I got him in my. Listen, it's off season. The season just ended, and I'm like setting my lineup already. Now putting I'm putting Humphries in there. Like, yeah. Oh
You
man.
don't want to forget. I don't want to forget.
No, I don't want to mess
Yeah,
around. I haven't been in a lineup, man. Yeah, go ahead. I'll let you finish, but I got thoughts. Go ahead.
Yeah. So him going to Tennessee. I mean, for me, my first concern is what is he there? You know, we know Corey Davis is the one. We got that. So then we've got Taywan Taylor.
Yep.
We've got the other receivers. So where is Humphries going to fit in? So that's number one. Number two, we've got a new offense that they're supposed to be going through this year, and so now Adam Humphries not only has to adjust to a new playbook since he's transitioning, he also has to adjust to a new quarterback who is also transitioning and adjusting. And Mariota, we already know, hasn't been the best quarterback.
Not by a long shot.
At least with Winston, we knew, man, he's going to give you 2-3 picks, but he's going to throw that. He's going to keep throwing it. He's going to see you a lot of yards.
Absolutely.
Like, hopefully he's going to get that ball. So it's just a lot of confusion going around. And it's real cloudy with that situation. And
you got a new head coach there, so you're not quite sure. I mean, look, I like Adam Humphries, and when you looked at some of his metrics and really dive into the numbers behind him, he's a really good receiver. He had a really great catch rate. I believe it was like third in the league and he was great on third downs. Don't get me wrong. He is a better real-life pickup than fantasy pickup just because he can help the team. But as far as his particular value, I don't see how this helps him at all, being with Mariota, being on a team with I think, if I'm not mistaken, that coach that came over as head coach was a defensive head coach from New England. And you got Derrick Henry here, who was ascending at the end of the year, and they're probably, you would think, want to, and the narrative around Derrick Henry is he needs volume, wear down defense, and after he wears down a defense for a half, then you get these big, long 99-yard runs, and he's running folks over, and he's having a great game. So they probably want to slow the game down a little bit, keep it on the ground, and that doesn't bode well for his upside in his future. They paid him very well, but you're 100% correct. He is one of the biggest losers, in my opinion, on his offseason. Now, well, he probably doesn't feel like he's getting paid, but as far as fantasy is concerned, absolutely.
Right.
I like it. All right, my second guy, and you're going to completely disagree with me, and most people will probably completely disagree with me. My second biggest loser is Mark Ingram.
Oh, now, I knew it was coming by heart.
Now, do not get me wrong, and I think you probably already know where I'm going with it, but just for the listeners, don't get me wrong. His value has absolutely gone up. He's going from splitting carries in the backfield with Alvin Kamara, who's awesome, to getting his own show, so to speak. However, who the heck is his agent? I need to know who this is because he should be fired. Okay, Mark Ingram was it a 3-year deal for $15 million?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, it wasn't
something like that, right?
Phenomenal.
That's basically the same per year basis that Tevin Coleman got. That's what Carlos Hyde got 2 seasons ago. This is not huge money for a running back, folks. He could have probably gone anywhere. Imagine Mark Ingram in San Francisco as the real lead dog. Because we know Mark Ingram can run with speed and power. We know he can catch the ball. He's a true, real for real 3-down back if you need him to be. Imagine Mark Ingram in Tampa Bay with Bruce Arians, who made DJ out of this world running back while he was there. This, I just don't get me wrong. Again, his stock has gone up significantly going to get his own show there in Baltimore. But you still got two capable running backs right behind him. They still like Gus the Buzz. They still like Dixon. If I'm not mistaken, they still got T.Y. Montgomery there, who may steal some of the third down work. I'm just not. I think he's a big loser, not because he's in a bad situation, but he could have been in a so much better situation had they just looked around and made a deal someplace else.
Okay, I want to sit back and make sure I let you finish your shot.
Go ahead.
And with what you say, since he's a loser and because of where he could have gone, I agree on that part. Right? Yeah, I agree with that part because I was very, very ready to argue with you, but I agree with that part. I get that. So, yeah, that makes sense.
No, I mean, I got Mark Ingram on one of my teams, so please I feel fine about where he's at. I just thought he could have been so much better in another system where he could have been a true 3-down back. And now, I don't know. I mean, do you feel like Gus Edwards is kind of chomping at his heels a little bit, that he demands the ball a little bit, that he's going to have to get the ball some? Or do you think this is purely Mark Ingram's show, he's getting 70% of the touches?
I'm actually on the second part. I do think, and it's confusing because before they went and got Mark Ingram, when the season ended, I believe I don't know if it was Harbaugh or whomever, but somebody from the Ravens organization came out and said Gus Edwards is our guy right now. Like that. Yeah. That was the quote. And then they went and got they pick up Mark Ingram, and I'm not so much concerned with Gus as I am with the best running back on their team in Lamar Jackson. That's more of my concern of taking carries away, and maybe they transition now that they've got Ingram. He alleviates some of that from Lamar. That can only be my hope.
Yeah.
But I do think Ingram gets the majority of share. Montgomery has, as far as I know, he's a free agent. He's not with the team. Both him and Collins and Buck Allen. They're all, all of them are free agents. So right now, the only signed is Gus. I believe is Gus. Buck Allen. Gus, Dixon, and Mark.
If they leave it like that, I would feel maybe a tad bit better because between the three running backs, Mark Ingram is the best pass catching running back, and they probably want him on the field for the first and second down. So perhaps you get that 65-70% market share from Mark Ingram, and then he's taking the third downs as well, possibly. I'm not sure what the plan is there with those three running backs, who all seem very capable, especially running between the tackles. I don't know. It just seems like almost a redundancy of skill. But, and I do understand that the numbers say that running quarterbacks help running backs. So I'm okay with that, but it's unless Lamar comes out and surprises us next year and shows that he really does have that NFL arm and eye and IQ and whatever, they don't have to respect the pass quite as much. Right. I think where, with like a Cam Newton or something, you still have to respect his passing game. Because he's a capable passer. So we'll have to see what Lamar does. But again, Mark Ingram, I'll let you go ahead to your third person.
Well, real quick on that last point, something else that I do need to see that will make me more confident in Mark. I need the Ravens to go out and sign a receiver. I don't even care if it's an elite receiver.
Why? They're not going to catch the ball.
But I need a threat. Like they got what? Willie Snead is their receiver right now. That's it.
Who did they sign? Didn't they sign? No, it wasn't Brashad Perriman. Where did Brashad go? I thought he went to the Ravens.
Brashad went to the. Did he go? Are you? Maybe he did. He used to play for the Ravens. He didn't.
Maybe he went.
The Bears. The Bears.
Okay.
He went to the Bears.
I'm trying to give you a receiver.
they can go sign somebody off the street. I need a receiver out there is what I need.
They're cutting receivers. They're cutting stuff they don't need, and they know they don't need receivers on their team.
Well, if I can guarantee 100%, if they're going to guarantee me that the whole game they're running the ball, I need all three of the running backs. I need all of them. All three of them.
Yeah, they're like, we're cutting dead weight. We're not spending any money on receivers because we're not gonna throw the ball. Let's be real about it. But no, yeah, I guess they'll get somebody. Probably gonna get someone in the draft that they can develop, and it doesn't demand any kind of a target share because they're a rookie, and go from there. Anyhow, who's your third guy?
So my third loser, I feel like I'm kind of on the opposite end, like you are with Mark there. My third loser is Golden Tate going to the Giants.
Oh!
I am not a fan of this.
Okay, before you start, let me take a step back here and make sure you address my thoughts in your answer because I want to know. Okay, so when Golden Tate was a free agent, he was looking at several teams, and the two big teams that popped out that he was going to be looking at was the Patriots and it was the Steelers. And in my mind, I'm thinking, coming from Philly, that's great. He can come in and take some of that target share that AB had for the Steelers, and the Patriots need another receiver. That's good. He could be a great number 2 at either one of those spots.
Mm-hmm.
He goes from being a number 2 to the number 1 option on the offense. And it took me a second. When he signed at New York, I was like, yeah, where? But you have to. There's a ton of targets vacated there. He is now the man. So please tell me why this is not a good move for his fantasy value.
So for his fantasy value, I don't like it because I think, all right, we could have gone to New England, like we just said, and you could have been back in your slot role. You could have been obviously less paid, what have you. Back in your slot role, back catching all these wonderful, these different passes from Tom Brady and have you. Now, but we're going to Eli Manning, and I won't even start on Eli Manning. Maybe he comes back, maybe he plays well, whatever. So even if he does play great, Golden Tate is going to be in the number 1 role, probably most likely on the outside with opposite Sterling Shepard. I think Tate, to me, is best in the slot. I think that when he was with Philly, whether he had time to learn the playbook or not, when he was used, we were trying to decide between him or Aguilar in the slot. And it ended up being bad for both of them because we didn't know how we wanted to use either one of them. So I don't think Tate being anywhere other than in the slot is great for him, which is why I don't like him in the Giants. I don't think that they can put him in the slot with the core that they have. I think he's going to have to be on the outside and call for some kind of, going up against the corners, getting off the line, and doing those different routes.
I think they're gonna play him in the slot, and the reason I would say that is because last year when Odell went down, they had all these injuries. Sterling Shepard had to play on the outside to take his place, and I mean he had some success, probably because he was the only option in the offense, and he had to throw the ball to him. But I mean he had some success. And they possibly may put him out, or they may kind of switch him out. We'll have to see, but there's a bunch of targets to be had there. I mean, outside of Evan Ingram, I mean, there's, to me, no one else that seems more talented than Golden Tate, unless you're talking about Saquon Barkley getting 150 targets this year, which is possible. It's possible because they checked down.
Don't be surprised.
They checked down a lot, so he's going to get ran into the ground, But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what they do there in New York. I think its value is probably, it was almost, to me, as far as the opportunity is concerned, it was almost the best case scenario. There was no other place in the league that he could have gone and it says, look, maybe we saw it's Baltimore, but no, we're not going to get into that. No other place in the league he can come in and be the best receiver on the team and say, I demand market share. So I guess we'll see. I guess we'll just agree to disagree on that. And if you want to put a bar bet on it, we can put a bar bet on it.
I mean, we can definitely we can do that. I'm with you on that.
Okay, so let's come up with a reasonable bet on his fantasy value this year and what he gets in New York, because I like the move. We'll come up with something on Golden Tate. I'm not sure what we're thinking, but I'm thinking definitely he's going to be at the very least a high end to what, maybe 20ish, around 20, somewhere around there. Wide receiver 20. Are you that high on him?
I would take the other side on that one. So I'm with you. Yeah, I don't think wide receiver 20. No, I don't believe he makes it that.
All right. So yeah, we'll do it. We'll come up with it. Bar bet. I like it. All right, man. My last person actually is not a person. It's an organization, and that is the Miami Dolphins. How bad does your organization have to be where quarterbacks are passing on your starting position to go be backups? How bad is it there where Teddy Bridgewater's like, you know what? Nah, I'm going to hold the clipboard. I'm good. You want to pay me more money than the Saints? Nah, I'm straight where I'm at. Or Tyrod Taylor. Nah, I'm going over there to the Chargers. What? Are you kidding me? Viable quarterbacks do not want to start for your team. How bad is it there? What is going on in Miami?
Oh what is the situation? Because I mean, it's a nice place. It's Miami.
Yeah, it's Miami.
Not the organization, but the city. Like
100%.
You would think people want to go there. So yeah.
Once upon a time, LeBron James was like, "I'm taking my talents to South Beach. It's South Beach."
Right. Come on. Now everybody's running. No, I'm good. I got an opportunity over here. I appreciate it though.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, I'm gonna hold this clipboard for a couple of years. I'm straight. Man, no, actually in actuality though, after considering everything that's happened, they ended up in a not so bad position. Fitzmagic, he's a turnover machine, but he can also put some points on the board. We've seen that with Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
They actually have some receivers there. Albert Wilson, Kenny Stills. We're not gonna get into Devontae.
Yeah, mention him. He's
there.
Yeah, you need to.
He's there. We'll see. Devontae Parker watch season 4. We've been trying to hype him up for 4 seasons, and every season he seems to come up a little bit higher in draft boards. People say this is going to be the year, and it's never the year. So, no, I think we mentioned it one show before, though. I am interested to see what happens with Albert Wilson. He was having a great year pre his injury, and he was looking like the top option on the team. Danny Amendola's going now. We'll see. We'll see what happens here on that team. But yeah, that's a loss when you can't get people to come start for your team. That's mine.
How are you feeling about Kenyon Drake's value now that Fitzpatrick's there? Because we both know Fitzpatrick's he's not a check down guy. It's just going downfield.
Yeah. Oh no. I like his value a little bit better than where it ended last year. Obviously, I think that Gase had something against him. We've kind of went down this road and beat this horse all the way to death. Yeah. So I'm not going to jump all the way back into this, but he has a chance to start. Ballard's there, obviously, and I think he's going to compete for the starting role. But I think this will be Drake's backfield, at least starting off. And you have to at least respect and like the increased volume that he'll get when there's a coach that knows what he's doing at the very least, or knows, hey, this is my most talented player. Let me give him the ball. So, but I'm not super high on Drake. I think on this last dynasty draft, I got him maybe around round 7 or 8. So I wasn't bullish on him. The year before, I was willing to draft him around 4 because you just thought this was going to but no. We'll see, and he's in a precarious situation as well, especially with with Ballage being there, and Ballage kind of flashed that last game of the season, showing that he too has some talent. So I don't know, I'm kind of up in the air about it.
I'm about the same with you, yeah.
Yeah,
Same
yeah.
thing.
All right, man. Let's go ahead. We want to do a couple of honorable mentions here. We don't want to talk about it too much. But as far as losers, I got Le'Veon Bell. Just simply because of the contract situation. He did all this to come out and get basically less money than the Steelers were offering him.
Right.
And
Yeah.
John Brown.
Yeah.
Yeah. To me, that's just he's a loser. You got a couple more you want to mention?
Nah, you actually, I was going to mention John Brown. So, yeah, that situation, man, he's not, like you said, we won't get too much into it, but he's kind of turned into a boom and bust for me now type of player. And it's unfortunate because I like his talent, like how he started last year with the Ravens, but I think they just brought him in as a deep threat. So, that's where we are in John.
Nope, he wouldn't have made his money, so that's just fine. All right, let's go ahead and talk about a few winners, man. Get away from these losers here. Talking about some folks who've done their thing, and I'm going to start this one off, and I'm going to start off with Antonio Brown. He is a winner in my eyes. First off, he bucked the system and won. Okay, because basically the Steelers were trying to backhand slap him and send him to the Bills. All right, and I don't know if you watch Game of Thrones or not, but in Game of Thrones, it's almost like being banished beyond the wall. It's disrespect if they had sent him to the Bills and he said, you know what, no, we ain't doing that. And, people kind of making jokes about him ending up in Oakland, but I think it was almost a perfect landing spot for him. He can go there. Remember I was telling you last year, he did not like Juju getting his targets. He hated Juju's guts. This might be one of the bigger reasons that he left. He may not be saying it because he looks stupid, but he couldn't stand Juju getting none of his spotlight. You know what I mean? He can go to Oakland.
Yeah,
there's no other targets there. Jared Cook's already left. They don't have a running back on the team at the moment. Well, they do. We'll talk about it in a minute. But no star running back on the team. He can be the prima donna. He can be the man, and Derek Carr is not as bad as everybody's saying.
No, he's not.
He's okay.
Yeah, I agree with. I mean, I've been so back and forth on this whole Antonio Brown to the Raiders situation. I'll be honest. I feel like I'm a winner, and I'm a winner because as soon as this trade came out, that's when I was a winner. I don't have to hear about this no more. I don't have to turn the TV on and see people talking about it.
We're all winners.
Great, I won. But no, seriously. Yeah, I think it'll be fun for him to be there.
Yeah.
As far as you have to say that he's gone to a worse offense. I mean, he has the offense in Oakland is not what it was in Pittsburgh. No. Obviously, it's not the same offense now, but just talking about when he played. So it's an offensive downgrade, but, I think he can flourish, obviously. Like you said, Jared Cook is gone. We talk about targets having to go somewhere. Antonio Brown is still a great receiver. And you heard John Gruden talking about him. He's the best receiver in the NFL, so he's obviously going to be finding ways to get that man the ball as much as they possibly can.
I mean, he gets as many targets as he wants, and they don't even have any real expectation of winning next year. So they throw him the ball to his heart's delight, and he's kind of a sideshow kind of a guy. I mean, I think it was a perfect situation. He landed where he can get what he wants. So, I think Antonio Brown was a winner. Just for dodging the Bills, he's a winner. Anyhow, man, who's your first winner here?
Well, I'll just skip past my first one because my biggest winner was Mark Ingram, and we've already touched on him.
Oh, wow.
So,
man, God, you really got to bring out the highlights here. Make me feel good about it, man. Give me a quick and dirty. What do you got from Mark Ingram?
Yeah. So, I'm super excited about Mark Ingram because the one thing that I preach whenever I talk about Mark Ingram, and me and you have talked about it 2 or 3 times, is the Ravens are a run-first, run-heavy team. And whenever I can get a running back of his caliber going to a team like that, just excites me. Last year alone, the Ravens were ranked second in rushing yards and second in yards per game, rushing yards per game, and then
but
they
was
were third
that
in
because
rushing
the quarterback was running for 100 yards a game too?
That's exactly where I wanted to come, and I wanted to make sure I touched on it. So in that, Lamar actually he had more rush yards than Gus Edwards. I think it was by about 100 or so. But Gus Edwards, he only started 6. He played in 11 games and started in 6 of them, and still ended up with 100 yards less than Lamar. So had it just been him the whole year, I think he still has majority of those yards. The Ravens also ranked third in rushing touchdowns. They had 19, and Lamar only had 5 of them. So with all that being said, I still think even if Lamar is taking off and running more than the normal fantasy owner would like a quarterback to run, I'm still very confident that Mark Ingram gets a lot of touches, a lot of yards, and finds the end zone enough.
Yeah. Hold on one second. Sorry about that, folks. I had someone come to the studio here and ask a question. Yeah. Okay, so I'm with you. Don't get me wrong. I like Mark Ingram. It's probably a step up from staying in New Orleans. I would have been very comfortable with him there because he had a couple of running back 1 seasons there, splitting carries with Alvin Kamara. So don't get me wrong. I think it's a step up. Again, my take on the loser is he could have maybe even for just a couple dollars less gone someplace else and been a lot more comfortable. It wouldn't have been as cold in Tampa Bay or San Francisco. B, he would have had no competition. There's no Gus Edwards there. There's Peyton Barber. There's Peyton Barber there. Yeah. The backfield is
but Bruce Arians liked him. Bruce Arians is really excited about Peyton Barber.
Yeah, you know what? I heard that, and we're you know what? Let's table that. Who was the winner who's gonna get ready to get to after Mark?
Oh yeah. So man, and it feels weird talking about him. Jamison Crowder. I like his move to the Jets. I like it a lot. I think he should go to the Jets. I think this is the perfect fit for him. I think we'll see his targets and receptions. I honestly think could go back to his 2016, 2017 seasons when he was getting 60 to 70 receptions each year. I think we can see those numbers again. I think he'll help out Sam Darnold a lot. I think that we'll see his short media routes that we saw when he was, doing that for the Redskins. I know Le'Veon Bell's there. He's obviously going to get his targets and things of that nature, but I think Jamison Crowder steps into his role and makes an impact not only for the team but for fantasy. I think he can be very, very good.
Yeah, okay. I don't have a whole lot on that. My thoughts were I was actually fairly confused when that happened because I thought they had Quincy Enunwa there who kind of filled that slot role for him, and they seemed to have a chemistry with Sam Darnold for the Jets. Yeah, I mean, they got a field stretcher in Robbie Anderson. Okay.
Yeah, no, I think with that, yeah, we're gonna have to figure that out because can you put a Numa on the outside? We don't know. He's been hurt so much, and so when the only time we see him is on the inside. He's not on the outside much. You've got Chris Herndon there too, who's coming on at the tight end position. So those are things that definitely need to be find out and figure that situation out. But I like the opportunity for Crowder with his skill set. I think he can make a splash in his role.
Do you know how much he got paid there in the Jets? I forgot the contract details.
Oh,
was it in that 9 to 10 years?
Up really fast.
Because because my thought process was that possibly if Adam Humphries left, he'll be perfect for Tampa Bay, or maybe even go to Dallas. Jets kind of confuse me a little bit, but that's fine. Yeah, I mean, if you like him, you like him. And yeah, the slot receiver there did get some looks. So if he's going to be in the slot, yeah, I can see that working out for him. Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, he got a it was $9 million because 3 year 28.5, so
Okay.
about 9 a year.
Okay. So Tampa Bay probably wouldn't have won that rich from him. All right, my number two guy as far as the winner is concerned is Alvin Kamara. All right, so you get rid of Mark Ingram, this guy who is in a way just as good as you are. In a way, they run differently. Obviously, they kind of fulfilled different roles, but Mark Ingram is good enough to command his own share. They now bring in Latavius Murray, who is pretty decent, but he's not as good as Mark Ingram. Alvin Kamara will get the ball more. Finally, all in on Alvin Kamara. I'm getting ready to tell you something that's going to blow your mind. He has jumped over Melvin Gordon in my rankings. And you know I love me some Melvin.
You guys remember the title of this episode because this right here is something.
Yeah,
this is sensational.
Yeah, it's a change. I've never been a big fan of Alvin Kamara. When they said he was gonna be all this and that, I was like, yeah. Last year I was like, yeah, regression time, and he showed me up a little bit. I don't think he had quite as good, but he's had a phenomenal season still. And now Mark Ingram gone, they bring in a guy who doesn't quite even catch quite as good as Mark Ingram. And I don't think he has, in my opinion, doesn't have the explosiveness as Mark Ingram. He may still be the red zone threat. He still may be the goal line guy, but Alvin Kamara will get the ball more this year and more volume. His explosiveness, Alvin Kamara, he's going to be the
Mark it down. Mark it down.
I love him.
Yeah, my question with that, talking to somebody, and they were talking about Alvin Kamara, and they were saying that it was kind of evident to them, and it made me think. They said it was evident to them as the season was starting to wind down, Kamara looked tired because of the over workload he had at the beginning of the year with no Mark Ingram. And then so as the year started to wind down, he looked a little fatigued, looked a little tired. So with that, if that is true, and of course he's got this whole new offseason to work on that if that's the case, and they're probably telling him that, look, we don't have Mark no more, expect, that workload.
Yeah.
But is it going to be something he can work on? Is it going to be something that's just too much for him now that he's going to be having so much of it? Do we see a second half, kind of continuous fall off? Is that something we're going to see?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, people have different levels of stamina. Kind of take myself for example. When I was younger, I was actually pretty fast. But if you ask me to run a mile, I'm going to be the slowest person because I start really fast, but once I get that first lap, I'm pretty much done. I'm burnt out. So maybe Kamara's on that end, and maybe there's something that he can work on, but he's going to have to shoulder the load, man. I mean, he is the man there. He's the backfield. I mean, don't get me wrong, Latavius Murray's going to do his part, but he's not marking him. To me, he's not a number one running back anymore. Maybe at one point, but he's not that guy anymore. He can come in and get that short yardage. He will get his playing time, but Alvin's going to have to step it up. So whatever he has to do to get himself there, I think that's going to have to be what he's going to do. So I'm really excited for him this upcoming season. Anyhow, who's your number two guy, man?
Yeah, number two is not so much for fantasy, but for him. Nick Foles, congrats on getting paid, my guy. Good job. Absolutely. Man, what a contract there. Guaranteed money and everything. I think that's phenomenal. He gets to go be the starting quarterback like he wanted to be, like he feels like he deserves to be. So, congratulations to him. I will say I personally don't know how much this goes for his fantasy value. It obviously increases it because last year he was drafted as a backup, so that's what he was, so it can only go up. Right. But, I mean, we're looking at Marquise Lee, Keelan Cole.
I think he has a decent receiving core there. I don't think that's a bad receiving core at all.
No, I don't think – no. Now, by no means am I saying it's bad. I like personally, I love me some Keelan Cole. I'm trying to get him where I can. He's got a better quarterback now. But what I'm looking at is the fantasy value, the numbers he was putting up with Philadelphia, and that's not just, not to be a homer or anything, but coming from that, not just that receiving core, but that offense, just how that offense was going to Jacksonville. I think this move was better for Jacksonville than it was for his fantasy value and things of that nature. It's a better real life move.
Well,
than a
yeah.
impact.
Now he has fantasy value. Before he really didn't have any, because by the time he was coming on, he's the playoff guy. He's like, you bring him in, he's the closer apparently in Philly. Wentz gets us there, we bring in Foles to win the championship. But no, he now has real fantasy value. And how high is that? Where would I see him finishing? I couldn't fathom at this point in time. The great thing, though, for him is it sounds like we heard the same kind of thing last year, but maybe Leonard Fournette has a renewed focus this upcoming year. And maybe some of these little soft tissue injuries that people seem to play through when they're serious may not affect him so much this upcoming year. So we'll see how that goes. A strong run game would certainly help him pass play action. But yeah, he should have a pretty good amount of weapons. Keelan Cole, you got Marquise Lee coming back. Then you also have Dede Westbrook, who was coming on in the last year. I like his weapons. They still should be a defense. He is going to come in there to be maybe a slight step up from Blake Bortles as far as the passing is concerned. Now, Blake Bortles actually did run the ball a fair amount and move the ball with his legs a bit, which you're not really going to get from Foles. But I'm interested to see what he does and what he can do as a full-time starter. This is not our first time seeing him succeed. Even forget the Super Bowl. You can't forget it. But outside of the Super Bowl, he did have a year where he was really good at someplace.
No, he did.
I forgot where it was, but he had a really good year one year, and everybody thought he was going to be the next, coming, and then this kind of fell off the bus.
It was with Philly. With Philly. We had him with Chip Kelly. I think he came in a year after Vic. I can't believe Vic got hurt or was moved on, whatever. But yeah, it was with us. He had a phenomenal year, actually. Fantastic year.
Yeah, so we'll see. Maybe we can rekindle that. All right, man. My last one. I got a couple honorable mentions, but my last one here is kind of a 2-pack or maybe even 3-pack. It is the Florida running backs, all of them. None of the Florida teams, Jacksonville, Tampa Bay, or the Dolphins, made any splashy moves with running backs. Now, we still have T.J. Yeldon out there, and we still have Jay Ajayi out there. Jay Ajayi has been linked to the Colts. Like, he's met with them twice, hasn't left with a deal yet. But, I mean, once you meet with a team twice, you guys are circling the drain. I think that's where he's going to end up. But none of these teams ended up with any flashy moves, and that's especially going towards what you were kind of saying earlier. Peyton Barber. He signed another contract with Tampa Bay, and, I mean, in general, the guy wasn't all that good last year, but they also had a really bad offensive line. They also threw the ball the entire game. So I'm interested to see. I'm interested to the tune. In my last draft, we were somewhere around round 11, 12, or 13, somewhere around there. I traded my next pick, it was like a 14-round or a 13-rounder, and my number 2 rookie pick to move up and draft Peyton Barber. I gave him a second-round pick to draft Peyton Barber for the just for the off chance that they didn't make any moves, and Bruce Arians is actually not just giving us coach speak and is telling the truth, and he likes Peyton Barber. If I can get a starting running back in the 13th round, I'm going to take the shot.
Absolutely. No, and it's like you said, if it holds true, you look great. If it doesn't, you look like an idiot. It's one of those things. But yeah, no, I like it too. I was able to trade I had Peyton Barber last year in a couple of leagues, and it was a guy that I throw him in there every once in a while. But now off season, you're getting offers that you never would have thought you'd get. Now they're not out of this world offers,
Yeah.
but they're more than you thought you would get for Peyton Barber. And now you're sitting there with a potential starting running back who is on your riding the bench that you have an extra guy that you can throw into your lineup.
Yeah.
So I like it. Getting them at that, I think that value is fantastic. I think if you held on to him last year, I think right now you should continue to hold on to him. It's kind of hard to judge his value, especially just going off of what Bruce Arians says. Now, if it's super high, by all means, I would take it. But if you're just trying to throw him out there and fish him, hold on to him. But, yeah, I love it. I think what you said, all the Florida running backs are definitely winners. I agree.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm sitting there telling my teams, appreciate all y'all. I love it. Thank you for keeping my job secure, especially for Net. They actually helped him even more and got Yeldon out of there.
Right. Yeah.
Helped him even more. So.
Yeah, and he was starting to catch the ball a little bit too last year, so we'll see if that continues. Do you think Ronald Jones has obviously there's always an opportunity, but do you think he has the talents to overtake the starting role in Tampa Bay?
Oh man, I think he has the talent. I don't personally know what the skill gap is between he and Peyton Barber. It felt like, last year whatever the Buccaneers organization had against him because they kept making him a healthy scratch, and they weren't even given an opportunity to play. So I think that this is his. If he doesn't start or get a Rashad Penny role or something like that this year in this offense with the new coaching staff, this is his best opportunity to put his best foot forward and get there and get some kind of opportunity, some kind of percentage. If he doesn't do that this year, then there's obviously something more going on with his skill. But it's hard for me to tell because the Buccaneers didn't really give him much of an opportunity last year in the first place.
Yeah. Yeah, it was at 2.2 yards per carry in the preseason. I think that clipped him. But yeah, apparently he has also problem catching the ball, which in a Bruce Arians offense, no, that's not gonna fly. No, I don't think so. So we'll see. Anyhow, man, anybody else you want to mention?
Yeah, I kind of want to give a little soft mention to Cole Beasley. I think him going to Buffalo, I like it. And I don't like it. I don't like it because I have Robert Foster, and I was really excited about Robert Foster going into this next year. I think that he's going to have to kind of take a step back with Beasley there. I think Beasley comes in and at least gets the slot role with Zay Jones and John Brown on the outside. So I think Beasley's a guy that you can kind of look at, maybe take a free agent pickup or real late pickup on.
Okay. Yeah, I don't feel that way about it, but I just don't like the Bills' offense as a whole. In fact, I mean, Josh Allen showed us he can run the ball a lot. And if he wasn't running, he was throwing, those Fitzmagic bombs to Robert Foster. I don't know if he's going to develop more of an underneath game. He's not very accurate. He's a step back from Cam Newton, if you want to talk about as far as, his style of play, whatever, and his accuracy, not even quite as good. I don't know. We'll have to see about that. I do want to make an honorable mention to a couple of people as well. Golden Tate. I'm coming back at you on that. I think that's a pretty good move for Golden Tate. He went from anywhere else he would have been number 2 at best, maybe even number 3 to the number 1. And DJ Moore. They got Funless out of there, man. Funless is gone.
Yeah.
The DJ show. I do think they need to bring someone in that can be that, reception receiver because they had, Curtis Samuel, Jarius Wright, and DJ Moore, but I don't think there's any big body guys that can go up and get the ball. We'll see what they do, possibly in the draft or whatever, but I think this is a vote of confidence that DJ Moore can handle the load. And I also do want to mention Devin Funless. He ended up in the best spot he possibly could have ended up in. And that is with the Colts. They needed his specific skill set. They needed a receiver just like him, and he could go in there and maybe get some of those touchdowns that Eric Ebron was getting. And my last, actually I got 2 more. Vance McDonald, I think he's going to be a steal in the later rounds for tight ends. Some of those vacated targets by Antonio Brown, and he has another year of familiarity with Big Ben. I love him as a late round sleeper for tight end. And my last one, every day that goes by, every single day that goes by, and Oakland does not get some big name running back in there, my Chris Warren take comes to life. I just really want this to come to life because I would have called it super early. I traded for him.
Yeah.
I traded Sanu. I traded Mohamed Sanu for Chris Warren in the third round pick early in the off season, and now he's starting to gain a little steam. There's starting to be a little chatter that they put him on IR, kind of stashed him away last year to bring him out this year.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you called that, man, because I think we talked about it not too long ago. You were telling me about Chris Warren, and I was just like, man, I don't know
who that is. Yeah, man, I'm really excited about that.
It could definitely come to fruition. I just thought of this real quick. Jared Cook going to the Saints.
Yeah.
I think that's phenomenal.
Yeah.
I love that move. I can't wait to see what he does in that offense.
No, you've seen one of our leagues I just traded because I have Ertz in that league. I also had Jared Cook right before the news. Now there was some talk about him going ahead and going to the Saints, so you probably thought he was. But a guy traded me Keelan Cole and a second-round pick. I thought it was a pretty good haul for Jared Cook, so I pulled the trigger. But, yeah, he's the best receiving tight end since, Jimmy Graham there.
Yeah, no, it's definitely for them. And I was going to say it's a pretty good haul for a guy that's got Zach Ertz already on that team.
Yeah, absolutely.
so I agree with you on that one.
Absolutely. Well, hey, listen, folks, we do appreciate you guys coming back. We had fun as always. Unless you got anything else, Dave, we'll go ahead and wrap up.
No, y'all guys enjoy your rest of your week and get ready for this summer. Hopefully the weather turns around.
Absolutely. Yeah, if someone will come on, spring something, all this weather we've been having here. But
that's why I didn't even say spring. I just said summer because I don't think spring is
coming back. Spring left that she ain't coming back. I got you. Hey, man, if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. We'll be back next week or maybe the week after. I think we got March Madness, and I think my boy Dave here is going to be in Amber. Oh, God, I didn't even get to mention that he's a Duke fan. Look. He lives in Tennessee. He doesn't even know where Duke is. And he's a Duke fan.
Whoa. Do you live in California? Why? You're a 49ers fan.
Wait, that's different. That is totally different. The Niners suck. They suck. My 49ers story is simply when I was coming up as a youngster, I was like 8 years old, I started watching football finally, and they were winning. So I went with the winning team, but I stuck with them my entire life. I am not a band. You don't even know what city does Duke play out of.
Look.
I knew it. He doesn't even know, people.
Listen. First of all, wait. Is it Durham? Is that not right? Is that right?
Yeah, I'll give it to you. It's close.
Hey, listen.
It's close.
I like Duke. I was a kid.
Okay.
I was a part of the Duke TIP program in elementary school.
Okay.
And from that point on, I've just been a Duke fan my whole life.
I'll give you that. Yeah, my son was in Duke TIP, so I'll give you that. All right, folks, we're out of here, man. Dave, you take it easy. We'll see you next time.
All right.